Hello everyone, how's it going? Welcome to the third session of High Intermediate 2. Today we'll be covering pages 44, 45, 6, and 7. Please open your books to page 44. New York City. Welcome to New York, by the way. Everyone, as you know, New York or New York City is a large city and a port in northeastern U.S. It is on the coast of the Hudson River. New York City is the largest city in America, and it is the main business center in the US, but it is not the capital. The capital is Washington, D.C. All right, now let's see. New York. More than 800 languages are spoken in New York City, making it the most linguistically diverse city in the world. So, everyone, New York is a cosmopolitan city. People from all over the world live there, and that is why more than 800 languages are spoken there. Well, are spoken is present passive. So people speak 800 languages. We say 800 languages are spoken. And this makes New York the most linguistically diverse city in the world. Well, diverse or diverse, both pronunciations are correct. Diverse or diverse means different. Okay, different. Linguistically, everyone, you know the noun linguistics. Linguistics means the science of studying languages. Linguistics. A linguist means a person who studies languages. Then there is the adjective linguistical and the adverb linguistically related to linguists in a linguistical way. So, you see, 800 languages are spoken in New York, and it makes it linguistically diverse city. Of course, the most linguistically diverse city in the world. Well, the longest running newspaper in the US is the New York Post, established in 1803 by Alexander Hamilton. Well, the longest running means it has been there for a long time. It is really old. Well, the New York Post is the name of the newspaper, and it was established. Established means set up, found. Okay, so the New York Post is an old newspaper. Actually, it is the longest running newspaper in America. It was set up, it was founded, it was established in 1803 by Mr. Alexander Hamilton. So, Mr. Hamilton was the editor of the New York Post, the oldest newspaper in America. All right, let's move on. Page 45. Although New York is one of the country's top apple growers, the origin of the Big Apple is linked to horse racing. According to history, in the 1920s, newspaper reporter John J. Fitzgerald first heard the term at a racing track in New Orleans, where people said they were going to the Big Apple in reference to New York. Well, although means however, even though. Remember, it shows contrast, difference. So, New York City is one of the countries, is one of America's top apple growers. The origin of the Big Apple is linked. Linked means connected, related. By the way, the Big Apple is another name for New York. They call New York the Big Apple. And the connection is linked, is related to horse racing. You know horse racing. According to history, okay, according to history, as history says, in the 1920s, everyone remember the 1920s means a decade from 1920 until 1929. Newspaper reporter John J. Fitzgerald, first heard the term at a racing track in New Orleans. So, Mr. Fitzgerald first heard the term. Term means expression. Here, the Big Apple. So, he heard the Big Apple at a racing track in New Orleans. New Orleans, everyone, is a city in America. There, at the racing track in New Orleans, where people said they were going to the Big Apple in reference to New York. So, at the race, people were talking about the racing track, horse racing, and they mentioned the name the Big Apple to refer to New York, in reference to New York. Before Washington, D.C., New York was the original U.S. capital for only 1 year, 1789. Well, before Washington, D.C., the capital of the U.S. By the way, D.C., everyone, stands for the District of Columbia. The District of Columbia. So, before Washington, D.C., New York was the original U.S. capital. It was the first U.S. capital, and of course, it wasn't for a long time, just for a year. And when did it happen? In 1789. All right. Now, hope you just enjoyed it. So, New York is the most linguistically diverse city in the US. It is called the Big Apple. People from all over the world live there, and the name is linked to horse racing. All right, now just a minute. Okay, well, everyone, check the table out here. Check it out, please. We have subject pronouns, everyone. Subject pronouns. What are they? I, you, he, she, it, we, you, they. These are called, everyone, the subject pronouns. Yes? For example, I'm a teacher. You are a student. He is my brother. She is my daughter. It is a computer. We are in the class. The next group, this group is the possessive adjectives. Possessive adjectives. My, your, his, her, its, our, your, and they. For example, my name is Mr. Mazlumi. This is your book. His name is Ali. Her car is beautiful. This is my car. Its door is open. This is our classroom, and etc. And the last column, we have possessive pronouns, everyone. Possessive pronouns. Mine, yours, his, hers, its, ours, yours, and theirs. So remember, we say it is my book or the book is mine. Okay? Or this is your car, the car is yours. Alright? After possessive pronouns, we don't use a noun, everyone. Well, check out these examples. Whose car is it? B. It's Lucy's car, or it is Lucy's, or it is her car, or it is hers. You see, 4 different answers. Another one. A. Whose books are these? B. They are Ali's books. They are Ali's. They are his books, or they are his. By the way, everyone, please don't confuse its and its. Alright? Don't confuse that. Well, the first one, it's this one, this word. Okay? It is a possessive word like my, your, his, her, its. Okay, for example, every country has its traditions. You see, there is no apostrophe. There is no apostrophe. When there is an apostrophe like this, it's. This is the short form of it is or it has. So, it's with an apostrophe is the short form of it is or it has. We say it is raining again. It's raining again. Yeah, it's raining again. Or have you seen my camera? It's disappeared. It's disappeared means it has disappeared. Okay, so apostrophe S, everyone. Well, we use part A. We use apostrophe plus S mostly for people or animals. Check out the examples. Tom's computer isn't working. Or how old are Chris's children? You see, Chris's children. What is your sister's name? What is your sister's name? Okay? Or what's Tom's sister's name? What's Tom's sister's name? Be careful. Don't step on the cat's tail. You see, cat's tail, Tom's sister's name, your sister's name, Chris's children, Tom's computer. Everyone, in all of these examples, you can see an apostrophe plus S. Okay, note 1. You can use apostrophe S without a noun after it. Look, this isn't my book, it's my sister's. You see, after my sister's, there is no noun. It's my sister's means it's my sister's book. We do not use apostrophe S after a long group of words. Okay? So we say my friend's mother. But we say the mother of the man we met yesterday. Okay? Well, note that we say a woman's hat. A woman's hat, which means a hat for a woman. We say a boy's name, which means a name for a boy. We say a bird's egg, which means an egg laid by a bird, and etc. And part B, with a singular noun, we use apostrophe S, singular noun. My sister's room, you see, one sister, so it means her room, one sister. Mr. Carter's house, his house. Well, everyone, with a plural noun like sisters, friends, etc., we put an apostrophe after S. Apostrophe after S. Check the examples out. My sister's room. You see, the apostrophe is after S. It means their room. So I have two or more sisters. Or the Carter's house. You see, Carter's apostrophe is after S. It means their house. Mr. and Mrs. Carter's house. Well, if a plural noun does not end in S, for example, men, women, children, people, we use apostrophe S. So, the men's changing room. Men is a plural noun, everyone, and it doesn't end in S, so we need an apostrophe S. A children's book. You see, children and children's apostrophe S, which means a book for children. You can use apostrophe S after more than one noun. So, Jack and Karen's children. Yes, everyone here, it means the children belong to both of them, Jack and Karen's children. Of course, we will discuss it in the book. Mr. and Mrs. Carter's house. It means the house belongs to both of them. Okay, now go to the book, please, everyone. All right, go to page 6, everyone. Page 6. Grammar box 1. Possessive apostrophe S. Apostrophe S. Please pay attention to the correct pronunciation. All right, apostrophe S. Okay. So, apostrophe S is used to show possession for people and animals, to show that someone or something has something. Singular noun plus apostrophe S, you know, plural and singular. A woman's hat or her hat. A horse's tail or its tail. The boss's wife or his wife, or manager's office, his office or her office. You see, in all these nouns, there is an apostrophe and S to show possession, everyone. Note, noun plus apostrophe S can be used without a noun too. For example, we say butchers. I went to the butcher's. Everyone, butcher's here means I went to the butcher's shop. Or I met her at the doctor's. The doctor's means doctor's office. Or I was at Mary's. Mary's means Mary's house. Remember in our story, A Plate of Peas, Grandma left for Aunt Lillian's. Aunt Lillian's, I just mentioned it there if you remember. Aunt Lillian's, everyone means Aunt Lillian's place, house. Well, regular plural nouns ending in S plus apostrophe. So, remember, when a plural noun ends in S, we only add apostrophe. Check out the examples. Students' books. You see, students is a plural noun, so we add an apostrophe after that. Students' books, their books. Guys' night out. Guy and guys, the plural form. Guys' night out or their night out. It means they spent a night out. Birds' migration. Bird and birds. Okay, you see there is apostrophe after S. Birds' migration or their migration. Two actresses' roles. One actress, two actresses. And we need an apostrophe. Two actresses' roles. Okay, note 2. In the Smith's house, remember everyone, we have Mr. Smith and Mrs. Smith. So, the Smiths means the family. In the Smith's house, the plural S is added to the name to make it refer to the family. Okay, the Smith's house. The apostrophe is after S. Don't forget. Irregular plural nouns. Irregular, like children, men, women, mice, people, knives. Okay, irregular. So irregular plural nouns plus apostrophe S. Children's playground, which means a playground for children. So children plus apostrophe S. Mice's cage. Mice, everyone, is the plural form of mouse. So mice's cage, a cage for mice. Women's room. Women, the plural, and women's room or ladies' room. Yeah, a women's toilet. People's enemy. People and people's enemy. Enemy of the people. Well, if two people own something together, use an apostrophe after the second person only. So, remember everyone, when something belongs to two people, the second noun takes the apostrophe. Check out the examples. Joe and Mary's car is new. You see Joe and Mary here? So, whose car is it, everyone? It is their car. It is Joe and Mary's car. So, Joe and Mary's car. Or, it is Mary and Joe's car. The second noun gets the apostrophe S. Why? Because it belongs to both of them. So, Joe and Mary's car, or Mary and Joe's car. Well, Caesar and Maribel's homes are both lovely. Okay, so Caesar and Maribel's homes, they have some homes. Oh, all right, these homes belong to both of them. So the homes belong to both of them. That's why we have added apostrophe S after the second noun. Well, if two people own two separate things, add apostrophe S to each name. So the story is different here, everyone. You see, Laurie's and Megan's nails. So they have separate or different nails. Laurie's nails and Megan's nails are painted the same color. So each girl has her own nails. Okay, Caesar's and Maribel's homes. Caesar's home and Maribel's home, yeah, are both lovely. Everyone, it means they don't own the homes jointly. They don't own them together. Each person has her or his own home. Important note, the possessive determiner its has no apostrophe. Remember, we discussed it before. It has no apostrophe, please, everyone. This is a common mistake among our dear students. Well, we bought this car because we liked its color. You see, there is no apostrophe here. When there is an apostrophe, its is the short form of it is and it has. Micro practice. Complete the sentences using the correct form of the words. Okay? The correct form of the words. Just a minute. I'd like to share the answers with you so that you can pay close attention, everyone. Yeah, here we go. Number 1. John's sister is 12 years old. You see, John's. John plus apostrophe S. Number 2. Susan and Steve's school is old. So everyone, you see Steve, the second noun, has apostrophe S. Why? Because the school belongs to both of them. So whose school is it? It is their school. Susan and Steve's school. 3. This is Peter's book. Apostrophe S. Number 4. Let's go to the Miltons. The Miltons, remember, means the family, Mr. and Mrs. Milton. So the Miltons. We need to add one apostrophe after S. Only an apostrophe. Number 5. The children's room is upstairs. Children's, apostrophe S. Number 6. Men's shoes are on the second floor. So men's shoes, apostrophe S. Number 7. My parents' car was not expensive. You see, everyone, we have added just one apostrophe, an apostrophe, because parents is a regular plural, so we don't need to add another S. So parents plus just one apostrophe. Number 8, Charles' CD player is new. Well, guys, we have two options here, two possible answers, Charles and Charles, with the same pronunciation but different spellings. We will cover them later. All right, so two options are possible in number 8, Charles and Charles. One with just an apostrophe, the other apostrophe and S. Number 9, this is the boy's bike. This is his bike, boys, apostrophe S. Number 10, these are the boys' pencils. Well, these are the boys' pencils or these are their pencils. Okay? So numbers 9 and 10 are different. 9 means his, 10 means their. 11, Jack's and Joe's bags are black. You see, both of them received apostrophe S because each person has his own bag. 12. Susan's and Sam's schools are old. Susan's and Sam's school. Susan's school and Sam's school. Again, here, everyone, each person has her own school. They have different schools. 13. The men's, women's, and kids departments are on different floors. So you see men's, apostrophe S, women's, apostrophe S, kids, one apostrophe, just apostrophe, okay, are on different floors. All right, that's it. Now, let's move on. Hope everything is just crystal clear, everyone. And remember, just practice makes perfect. Okay. Well, welcome to page 7, lesson 1.2. Delish? Delish? Of course, yeah, delish. Well, everyone, delish means delicious, tasty, yummy, scrumptious. Well, here on this page, and of course in this lesson, we will study about food, eating, food-related words and expressions. All right. Well, everyone, check out the table, please. There are different categories related to food and eating. Okay? So, first of all, everyone, I'd like to read the words and phrases once. Uh, I'd like you to take a listen carefully to get the correct pronunciation. Later on, we will explain the meanings of the words and phrases. And finally, last but not least, I'll try to come up with some, let's say, examples, some example sentences. Okay, now here we go. Take a listen. Look at the words, everyone, and take a listen, please. Food plus adjective plus food. Delicious, delicious. Superb, superb. Ample, ample. Plain, plain. Wholesome, wholesome. Leftover, leftover. Rotten, rotten. Fresh, fresh. Canned, canned. Plate, plate. Portion, portion. Morsel, morsel. Consume, consume. Avoid, avoid. Cut down on, cut down on. Pick at, pick at. Play with, chew, chew. Swallow, swallow. Scavenge, scavenge. By the way, everyone, scavenge for or from. There is a misprint here. Yeah, from. Scavenge for or from something. Okay, let's move on. Food plus verb. Smell, smell. Taste, taste. Be short, be short. Contain, contain. Next category, food plus noun. Intake, intake. Product, product. Shortage, shortage. Crisis, crisis. Industry, industry. Poisoning, poisoning. Prices, prices. For food, without food. Food and water. A smell of food. A supply of food. Alright, so the correct pronunciation. Remember to practice reading the words, please. Okay? Well, the first category, adjective plus food. Alright? Delicious. Well, everyone, delicious means delish, yummy, tasty, scrumptious. Superb. Superb is another adjective. It means extremely good. Excellent, extremely good, again, delicious, out of this world. Okay, so superb, out of this world. Ample, everyone, means more than enough. Ample, plenty of, sufficient. Okay, ample. Plain means with nothing added. With nothing added. Simple. Plain steak, for example. Plain rice. Wholesome. Wholesome means good for you. Healthy. Leftover. Leftover is an adjective, means remaining from a meal. For example, leftover pizza, leftover sandwich, leftover dinner. So, leftover, everyone, is an adjective. Leftovers is a noun. It means food that has not been eaten at the end of a meal. So don't confuse them. Leftover is an adjective. Leftovers is a noun. Rotten. Rotten means decayed. Rotten food is no longer good to eat, not good to eat. Yeah, when food goes rotten or when it is rotten, we can't have it. All right, fresh. Fresh means in a natural condition, recently picked, recently prepared. Yeah, fresh. And canned, can and canned means preserved and sold in a metal container, in a can. Canned fruit, for example. Plate, plate, a plate of peas, if you remember. Portion, everyone, means serving, helping. So portion, serving, helping. It means an amount of food that is enough for one person. Portion, serving. Morsel means a small amount, scrap, S-K-R-A-P, scrap, morsel. Consume, to consume food means to use it, to have it, to eat it, consume, and consumption, consumer. Avoid, if you avoid some kind of food, you don't have it, you don't like it, maybe because you are allergic to it, avoid. For example, I'm avoiding onions. Yeah, I'm allergic to onions. Cut down on, or everyone, cut back on means to reduce, to eat less, cut down on. Pick at means eat slowly or eat very little. Pick at. Play with. It is not good to play with your food. It is considered bad manners. Chew. When we chew our food, we like this. I'm sorry, but I have to just clarify the meaning. So, when we chew food, we crush it in our mouths into small pieces with our teeth to make it easy to swallow. Yeah, swallow. So when we swallow food, it just moves from mouth into our stomach. So first we chew the food, we use our teeth to chew the food, then we swallow it. It goes down to our stomach. Scavenge, everyone, means to look for or get food or other things in other people's garbage. Yes, to get food or other things from other people's garbage. Unfortunately, nowadays you can see a lot of people scavenging for bottles of water or plastic from trash cans or garbage cans. So tragic. So scavenge. Smell, for example, food smells good, or taste, it tastes delicious, or I don't know, sour. Be short. Be short means there isn't enough, there is a shortage, there is a lack of something. To contain means to have something. Contain. Well, next category, intake. Intake means amount of food or drink that you have, food intake. Food product, something we grow or we make, food product. Food shortage, shortage means lack of, not having enough, be short. Crisis, crisis. A crisis means a situation in which there are a lot of problems, crisis. The plural, everyone, is crises, crises, S-E-S, crises. Then we have industry, food industry. It means the companies, the factories, the activities involved in the process of making food. There is food poisoning. Everyone, if you have rotten food, you end up with food poisoning. What is it? Food poisoning is a stomach illness caused by eating food that contains harmful bacteria, and you just end up having a stomach ache and you vomit, you bring up. And food prices. That nowadays food prices are skyrocketing. Yeah, food prices for food, our need for food. Without food, we can't live without food. Food and water, smell of food, and a supply of food, amount of food. Okay, now some example sentences, everyone. Our restaurant serves the finest food. Healthy food can and should be delicious, yummy, tasty. It is important to get plenty of exercise and eat the right foods. She is trying to cut down on fatty food. Cut down on means to reduce. Cut down on fatty foods. The baby refuses to swallow any solid food. Remember, swallow, make it go through our mouth into our stomach, swallow. They moved from village to village begging morsels of food. Morsel, remember, small amount, scrap. You should eat more fresh food. Fresh food, newly prepared. The city began to run short of food. So there was a lack of or shortage of food. We have been days without food. Yeah, without food. Thanks to international aid, the city had been supplied with food for months. Supply as a verb here. Taste the food and tell me what you think. Taste it. He had lost his appetite and picked at his food. Pick at. Kind of eat slowly or eat very little. Stop playing with your food like a baby. So play with your food. Don't play with it. Well, they sat down at the restaurant table and immediately ordered their food. Does the food taste good? Does the food taste good? We have strikes. Food is short. Food is short. There is a lack of food. And the lines grow longer. Fruits are an important food source for bats. The seaside fish market is a ready food supply for scavenging seabirds. Farmers were encouraged to grow basic food crops such as beans and corn. The labels on food products give a lot of information about their nutritional content. His doctor ordered him or warned him to reduce his daily food intake, amount of food that he eats. The government is trying to cut food prices. Yeah, of course, the US government is trying to cut food prices. I think it's a crime to kill animals for food. For food. After 3 days without food, the men were close to starvation. Gina had prepared food and drink for the work party. Food and water were running out. There was a smell of food from the kitchen, a smell of food. The ocean provided the villagers with an endless supply of food. Okay, shall I go on or it's enough? All right, just a couple of more examples. Okay, the restaurant serves good food at affordable prices. He was told to cut down on salty and fatty food. Thanks for dinner. The food was delicious. The food is all so fresh. We try to give the kids good, healthy food. He chewed the food, remember chew? He chewed the food slowly and carefully. While she was ill, she had trouble swallowing her food. The food at Jane's house always tastes good. The food smelled delicious to her. The government must ensure an adequate food supply, enough food supply. The food industry has responded to consumer concerns about health. Farmers have increased food production to meet demand. The nutrient content of most food products is displayed on the packaging. Food prices in Iran, especially in Iran, food prices have increased rapidly, sharply in recent months. He remembered the food shortages of the warriors, food shortage, lack of food. We had to live on canned food for a week, canned in a metal container, cans. And some people claim that frozen food is just as healthy as fresh food. So frozen food and fresh food. Okay, so these were just some example sentences to help you activate the new vocabulary items. All right, exercise 1A, everyone. Use the words from the box to complete the sentences. Number 1, the meat is going to go rotten if you don't use it soon. So, to go rotten, remember, or to be rotten means it is not good enough to eat. And if you have it, you may end up with food poisoning. Number 2, much of their food was scavenged from other people's leftovers. So, was scavenged. Simple past passive. Leftovers, remember leftover and leftovers. Don't confuse them, please. Leftover is an adjective which means food that is remaining. Pizza, leftover pizza. But we say leftovers as a noun. So leftovers is a noun. Leftover is an adjective. Number 3, you can use fresh, canned, or frozen fruit for this recipe. Fresh, newly prepared, picked, canned in a can, and frozen, freeze and frozen. And recipe means cooking instructions. Remember, a cookbook is full of recipes. Number 4, the government's program to grow crops for export is a mistake, since it has created a local food shortage or a local food crisis. So, export as a noun is the opposite of import, and export as a verb is the opposite of import. When we export something, we send goods and things to other countries, and when we import, we just buy things and bring them in. So it has caused a local food shortage, lack of food, or crisis. And number five, she couldn't even eat a morsel of the beef that she had ordered. A morsel, a small amount, a scrap of the beef, cow's meat. Well, this is it, everyone. This is the end of another session. Thanks for accompanying us. Until next time, take care. Goodbye.